should we start, the assessors here, we can start talking about the geometry proposal.
Yeah, the only other one that's coming is
Chuck
Patine from the,
Or light today.
Yeah. Have you had any time to look it over, or you've got a lot of questions?
if you two guys want to see it, he's more than happy to bring it back. It's a, what was he here, an hour at the most?
Yeah.
So you're not gonna make a decision on it today?
Not if you guys haven't seen it. You're one of the main players. I would like you to look at it and see what you're thinking.
I guess the only reason I put it on the agenda is that when he was here the last time, he indicated that the price that he was quoting is good up to June 1st. And so if we can come to some kind of decision, we can save about 10 grand on our...
The flyover we had was 2,000, and then this is really an upgraded. It's quite impressive, but I think you probably will be the person that uses it the most, and certainly would like to have you. Okay.
Yeah, I was, until I actually see it, I don't know, as far as being able to see like the side of a building, I don't know how that's gonna really help me all that much.
We thought maybe the additional buildings or anything that's changed, you're gonna be able to spot right away without actually being there. If they put in a building or add on to a building, it'll show.
Yeah, I don't know if you couldn't see that from a straight down aerial. I mean, but if it's the same cost, I mean.
Well,
Actually, it's a little cheaper.
yeah, it's actually a little cheaper.
Yeah, cost is the main thing, you know.
And that's, with this program, that you can see all four sides of the building, you can measure height. It is impressive. Part of the situation, I mean, we're going to need to have a new fly just for updating purposes at some point. And this was a little less expensive than the first fly we had just with the first one.
Well, I think there's a lot more competition out there now than
Oh, sorry.
7 years ago. There's a lot of companies that.
It's cheaper. Actually, Cass County just signed with this company to do the oblique aerial photography and compared it to the ortho photography, which is just a direct straight down shot. And it was $2,000 cheaper. Just the ortho, or excuse me, the oblique photography was $2,000 cheaper than the ortho photography. The thing
With
that
the
they're
same company?
Pardon me?
With a different company?
That I don't know. That I don't know. But the thing that that's kind of selling the thing is that where we have now 2 licenses, one in the recorder's office and one in the, actually we have 3 with yours.
For GIS?
Yeah. We have to buy a license for each unit that can access this stuff. Whereas with the pictometry, we buy it and anybody can use it. Anybody that's connected to the mainframe. And I guess from that aspect, we can incorporate the E911, the ambulance, sheriff's department. I mean, we can even make it available to cities and schools. Any other governmental agency in the county is authorized to use it.
One of the, I was telling Dean, I don't know if you guys are in there, but I think one of the biggest advantages, if you can incorporate that with our 911 mapping, is that when we get a wireless call, you have to it's a system called rebid, and then a GPS tracks that. And a lot of times, it'll just show a spot in the middle of nowhere that's coming off the tower and then being GPS located. And if you have this overlay that sets on that, you can give directions to your responders that, as an example, it's south of the barn is where this call's coming from, as opposed to this is the coordinates. Did I make that clear? I mean,
You can be a little more precise in where you're
you can
responding.
actually direct people, and the scenario I used with Dean is, you know, you're out planting, and you step off the tractor and it rolls forward or something and pins you, you have your cell phone. So long as your cell phone's on, it can pinpoint that through GPS. Now you incorporate this overlay on it, and now you can see, well, he's straight north of the barn, or the barn that sits on this property, where before, it's just a crapshoot. And that's one advantage to that, I think that 911 overlay. You know, obviously the other advantage to us is if you're doing raid planning or search warrant service, you can pull that up and get a view of the property, so you know what outbuildings are where, and, you know, potentially what escape routes you have to seal off, and those types of things.
For your purposes, Bob, how often would you like to see a flyover? I mean, an update?
As often as we can afford it. Every year would be great.
Yeah, I think that's probably about as accurate as you're gonna get. Pocahontas County, they just upgraded from 1988 aerial photos. I mean, so it's, you know, it's just whatever you wanna do.
And we're now in our 8th year.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
all we had.
But what she told me this morning was, they just flew in Pocahontas County, and once they get everything in place, they're gonna fly it again to incorporate, they're putting in a wind farm up there now, and they're gonna fly that again to include those.
How much does it cost, after this initial 50,000? If you flew it every year, how much would they cost? I forget, he told us.
And that was gonna go back to area, and like they'll just do maybe one small section.
Yeah, wherever you see the growth that you need that kind of a.
But I don't think they really answered that question directly, as far as, because it was gonna depend upon how much area you were trying to.
I guess what they, as close as they came to answering that question was, the maintenance on this was 3 years, wasn't it? Wasn't that what he said? And then after that, it would, you'd have to, I guess that doesn't address how often you want to fly it.
The maintenance being what? The software?
Yeah.
Another thing I liked about it is they said like if a tornado hit or something, that they would fly the area for us, and it wouldn't cost us anything, by understanding, to find out where the damage was. But they would fly that, that's part of their agreement.
What would our cost, what would all our costs be besides the cost of 50,000 for the flight? Would we have to buy any software, or would we?
According to what he's, that's kind of maybe a question that we could ask again. I don't have a definite answer.
That'd be total cost, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking, they'll implement it and apply it to our GIS for that amount.
And they were offering like a 3-year payment type plan with no interest, that you had the ability to pay over 3 years, or if you so chose.
Right. The only thing we need to do to hold this price is 25% of 1/3 of the cost. So
We should coordinate a date where we can have them come back and.
Sure.
Have you.
Yeah, I had a school that day, I couldn't back out of.
I think there were, basically 3 components on that machine, wasn't there, that could be separated? One on each end of the center section?
that's the postage machine, Jack.
The post, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking backwards today. Oh,
April Fools.
Here you go.
Hi, Chuck. So, come on in.